Hi guys, thank you all for tuning in and welcome back to Sewing Clara. In today's video, I will show you how I added pockets to this cute sports skirt that I thrifted last year. So this skirt had originally faux pockets with metal zippers, and the zippers were not sewn in really nicely, they were bulging out. So I knew at some point I had to change that because it was driving me insane. I wanted to change the zippers, I wanted to go for just plain black zippers, and I wanted to add pockets simply for the practical reasons. And I thought, why not film that for you guys? So if that's something you're interested in, then please keep watching. Before we start though, a quick reminder. I'm now also offering sewing patterns on my homepage. I will link the homepage down below and I will also blend it here on the screen. All the sewing courses have been moved here to YouTube so that you can watch them for free. And all the patterns that I'm offering are of course for very affordable prices. I'm continuously adding new patterns, so maybe you can also save my homepage as a favorite in your browser. And now let's jump right into this. Alright, so here we have one of my favorite skirts. It's a sporty skirt I like wearing, especially when I go out with my pup. I thrifted it and it's a lovely skirt made of a really nice material. The material dries fast, it doesn't wrinkle, but what I do not like is the zippers. So you can see they're creating these waves, and that's because they haven't been sewn in the correct way. Zippers have to be placed in absolutely straight, otherwise they are going to bulge out like that. Also, I honestly would much rather prefer to have simply black zippers, so I bought these two zippers. So I have two kinds. I haven't decided which one I'm gonna use yet. This is a little bit thicker zipper and this one is a little bit narrower. I think I'm gonna go with these. They are a little bit more distinct, so I'm gonna replace the zippers. And these are faux pockets, so underneath each zipper has been sewn in a strip of fabric. I already took one of this side down so that I can show it to you. And I want to replace these also with pockets because I actually do want to have pockets. I'm not going to carry anything heavy, but at least, let's say, my sunglasses or a tissue, and that would be really nice. So let's do this together. So the first thing I will do is to remove also the second strip of fabric here. You can do it with either a seam ripper or with buttonhole scissors. I personally prefer buttonhole scissors. That's just my personal preference, but both works. If you don't have any of these and you have decent manicure scissors, you can use these too, but make sure to use only this tip because they are curved and you could accidentally cut through the fabric. So I'm gonna open all these stitches so that I can remove the strip first. And now that I removed the strip, I will go ahead and I will start opening these stitches so that I can remove the original zippers. Now I will go ahead and I will remove all these loose threads. And I will position the new zipper and I will see which one I like better, if I will end up using the thick one or the thinner one. So let's start the thick one first because that would have been my first choice. And I actually do like the way it looks. I think it goes very well with the structure of the fabric. So I don't think I have to even try this one. So I'll take the thicker zippers. Now, the important thing is to place the zipper so that it will be nice and flat and that the fabric here doesn't stretch out. Now, this is a fabric that's stretchy. Honestly, the best thing to do would be to grab the skirt and turn it to the wrong side and to iron on these pieces on iron-on interfacing to make it a little bit more sturdy and to prevent the fabric from stretching out. So I think that's what I'm gonna do because it's gonna help with the shape. So I will smoothen this and iron first over the fabric, and then I will place the interfacing with the correct side on the fabric like so over the opening, and I will make sure I iron it on properly. I smoothened everything and ironed on the iron-on interfacing from the wrong side, and you can already tell this is not really super straight, which might have been one of the reasons why the zippers were not so smooth and straight as they should be. I will have now to open these holes again, so I'm gonna go in and cut through because we need to make a hole for the zipper. And now I will fold this in, so I will put in a few pins and I will go back to the iron and iron this in place so that it's gonna be nice and smooth. And then I'll end up having a nice hole for our zippers. In my course Sewing Basics and Hand Sewing, there is a detailed tutorial how to make these holes actually for zippers. I have shown it a little bit differently here. The fabric is simply folded inside, which is also an option, but I personally like using a strip of fabric over it and making the hole a little bit differently. So you can go ahead and watch the video. I will link it here in the right corner and also in the video description. Alright, so here we have our hole. It's actually the perfect size for the thick zippers. I personally like pinning the fabric at an angle before I iron it because it allows me to make sure when the fabric is laying flat that the shape is correct. And another thing I like doing when working with zippers, once I position the zipper in place, I actually do like going in with a running stitch around it because again, that allows me to see it the way it's gonna be once once it has been sewn in, because then I can make sure that it's gonna lay flat and it's not gonna bulge out like the original zippers did. And by the way, the original zippers, when I took them out now, you can see that they started straighten. So I'm not gonna throw these away. I'm gonna keep them for future projects. But now I will go ahead and iron over these edges because it's gonna make it easier to place the zipper. Now that I ironed the openings, I can go ahead and start placing the zippers. So I will turn my work around and grab my pins, and I will keep pinning the zipper in also at an angle. You can see how nicely smooth the zipper lays and how flat it is. So I'm gonna again turn my work around and I will start pinning the zipper in from the other side. You can already see how much nicer the zipper lays. It's nice and flat. I really took my time to position everything and repinned the pins whenever I had the feeling that they were not holding the zipper the way I liked it. And now I will go ahead and go to my sewing machine. I will put in the zipper foot and I will simply sew the zip in place with a straight stitch. Alright, so you will notice how much nicer the zipper look like because they are perfectly flat, so that already made a huge difference. And now we are going to add the pockets. For the pockets, I'm gonna use this mesh material. It's quite sturdy. It is slightly stretchy, but strong enough to hold whatever I have to or want to put into my pockets. You will notice that they have practically the same shape. Only one side has here this additional strip. This is because this needs to cover the back of the hole where we have our zipper, and this needs to align perfectly. So I'm gonna turn the skirt to the wrong side and I will show you how to pin the pocket in. I will be pinning the pockets to the zipper and I will start with this one. So I'll pin it in place like so. So this time the pocket is gonna face away from the center and I will sew it on the zipper like so. So let me pin it in place. I will turn my work around. I will lift the edge of the zipper and I will pin the pocket on it. Of course, I could have pinned the pocket in before I started sewing on the zipper, but I personally like doing it this way, even though it's a little bit more complicated. That's just my personal preference, but it would have been a one-step thing. Now I'm gonna fold it over. And then I'm gonna grab this side of the pocket and I'm going to place it so that the pocket faces the center, and I'm gonna pin it on this side of the zipper. I will make sure that both shapes are nicely aligned before I start pinning it in place. And now I can go ahead to my sewing machine and sew this side in place and this side, and then I would open both pockets and I would simply sew these pieces in place. Another option is to position the pockets, and you will have to start with this one first. So let me remove the pins, and I think this is what we end up doing just to demonstrate the option. So I positioned the pocket like so. I will pin it at an angle. And I will go ahead and sew here through the seam that I have here around the zipper again. And I will make sure that I sew exactly through the same place. So let's do that. So here is what it looks like from the right side. I'm gonna fold it now to the side and I'm gonna place in place the second part of the pocket like so. I'm gonna make sure that everything is nicely aligned. And I will pin this here in place like so. It doesn't matter how, because we're gonna put the pins in from the other side. This is just for the time being. I'm also going to pin these here to the skirt so that they wouldn't, these sections wouldn't come in the way of sewing. And of course I could have pinned the first pocket in place when I was sewing on the zipper, so around the first edge, and then put in this part of the pocket and then continue sewing in the zipper, and then I would have done everything basically kind of in one step, but I thought I'm gonna show you this way of doing it. So now that this is roughly pinned in place, I'm gonna turn the skirt again to the right side. And I will grab my box with pins and I will start pinning this here in place. I can always then take out the pins from the wrong side, and I will make sure everything is pinned properly. And this time I will sew here through, above the zipper, above the pull tab, then around like along this edge, and then here below the zipper. So here is what it looks like from the right side. When I open the zipper, I can now reach in. There's the mesh fabric, so I'm gonna turn it to the wrong side and we will start pinning the pockets part, because now we have to sew these pieces together. So since I have sewn above the pull tab and below the zipper, these edges are now closed. And now I have to sew together these round edges. So I'm gonna start pinning this in place, but I actually find that it's easier to sew from the inside. So I'm gonna turn my work around, place it like so, and I will align both layers, and I will start putting pins at an angle like so. And you can sew this together, these edges, with an overlock stitch, because that also edges the fabric immediately in one step, or you can go ahead and use simply straight stitch, especially if you have rather a simple sewing machine that doesn't have overlock stitch, and then you can go and edge everything with zigzag. And here we have it. So I have sewn the pieces together with straight stitch, and then I went in with a zigzag because I feel like this is the most secure. So this is what it looks like from the inside. And here we have it from the right side. So now I have a nice pocket. I'm gonna take off my reading glasses and put them in. It is a little bit too small for my phone because I have the Galaxy, the Samsung Galaxy, I believe it's the model 9S Plus. So that's really large, but it was never meant for the phone because the phone is very heavy and I don't like the way it looks when I put it in the pocket of my skirt. But my intention was being able to carry sunglasses in the pocket, or tissues, or keys, and for that it's perfect. So now I'm gonna do the same on the other side. Let me repeat quickly. So this is the center of the skirt and this is the side. So I'm gonna start with the smaller piece of the pocket. I'm gonna place it like so, facing outwards. I'm gonna pin it in, then I will sew it in along the long edge of the zipper, fold it like so. And then I will pin in the second part of the pocket, nicely aligned with this one, and then I will sew above the pull tab, along the long edge, and then below the zipper. And then all I have to do is to sew these edges together and hem them, and that is it. And there you have it. Now I have two nice pockets. They are not super big, but I could still fit my phone kinda in if I needed to put it there for a few moments. I just tried putting in my keys and my glasses and a tissue, and that works all fine. It's a sports skirt. It's not like it's a cargo skirt where I need to carry a lot of stuff, but these were the things that I felt like would be really nice to put inside. And I personally love this mesh fabric because it doesn't add any weight, or it's not really like bulging through the front of the skirt. So I'm very happy with the result. Alright, so that's how I added pockets to my thrifted skirt. I'm super happy with that. I'm using the pockets now every single day, and I find that now the skirt is absolutely perfect. I actually love the skirt so much that I think about creating a pattern for a skirt like that and posting it also on my homepage and filming a tutorial for that. So if you guys would be interested, let me know in the comments. And that is it for today. Don't forget to check out my homepage, and thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much. God bless you, and see you soon with my next project. Bye!